Okay, everybody, welcome back to Bullet Basics. Today we're talking about the 5 reasons not to use the slide stop as a slide release. Normally we'd send you over to Norm. Norm is out on vacation this week, and so we're just gonna do his job. We're gonna say, please subscribe, please like, please engage with our channel. Not even just our channel, all gun channels. Show YouTube that this is a valuable part of their business. Let's talk about it. 5 reasons not to use the slide stop as a slide release. Now, I should preface with, we couldn't care less how you use it. We personally say the most effective way to get you back in shooting, putting rounds down range for most situations, or if you're in a firefight to get back in the fight, use it the fastest way that you can. These would be 5 arguments that people would make, and we would make some of them too as well, but 5 arguments people would make for why you shouldn't use the slide stop as a slide release. So since we've made that hopefully clear that we don't care, we often use it as a slide release, here would be 5 reasons not to. The first one would be, this is an argument that people make, and it's probably quite true, right? If you look at the science, whereas doing this right here is a fine motor skill versus grabbing it with your whole hand and pulling it back. It's a lot harder to do this, especially if you're in some sort of self-defense situation where you are just fighting for your life. A lot of that stuff, the ability to do that kind of thing goes away. And so going over the top and pulling it backward would be one reason that you shouldn't use it. Other people would obviously contend that pulling the trigger is also fine motor skill. And so if you can learn to do that under stress, you can learn to do the other as well. But that would be one reason. If that's something that worries you, definitely just train with over the top, okay? And the second reason to not use the slide stop as a slide release would be that the argument goes this way, that as you do that, you're pulling down on the lever and it's shaving off the edge of the lever, and so it gets worse and worse at holding the slide all the way back in the rearward position. This one, I don't know. People have made this argument. I've heard it. I've watched videos on it. I don't know how valid this reason is, but it would be if it's something you're worried about, that, hey, as I do that, I'm wearing down the side of that lever so that it won't stay back naturally. Definitely don't use it as a slide release. It's just not worth it. Go over the top. And then the magazine itself, or the rounds really, the magazine not being there will push it back down. Okay, reason number 3. This one is that using the slide stop as a slide release will cause malfunctions. And the reason, the logic, I guess, here is that if it's in the rearward position, just pulling down on the lever brings it forward, whereas pulling it over the top, which I can't do right now, pulling it over the top slingshots it forward, gets it way more momentum coming forward, and ensures almost guarantees that thing is going to come home with as much force as it can. I generally agree with that. I think that if you're giving it more momentum, you're pulling it as far back as you can and letting that baby slingshot forward, you're going to have a better chance of proper function than just pulling down on the slide lever. I will give the counter argument to that. All the manufacturers, we looked at a bunch of manufacturers, and if you want to see our video on us looking at the manufacturers and what they suggest you do, I'll link it up here. But just know that almost every single manufacturer, I think except for Smith & Wesson, suggested that you use the slide stop as a slide release, and so take that for what it's worth. I do think that you get more momentum doing it this way, pulling it all the way back and slingshotting it forward, and so for the most chance that it's going to work properly, I guess that would be a reason to use it, to slingshot it versus using a slide release. Okay, the 4th reason for why not to use the slide lock as a slide release is right here, small guns. Small guns just tend to be much harder to pull down on the slide release or the slide stop and get it the slide to move forward and get that round in the chamber. I don't know what it is. It's probably just the fact that they're smaller, it's more condensed, there's less space. It's just so much harder to do. And so just training over the top like that with every gun, especially since you have to mostly do that with smaller guns, it's probably worth it to just get used to that, get it ingrained, get it just a habit. If you're going to do it with one, you might as well do it with all. And so that would be a reason for that. The last and the most compelling reason, at least for us lefties, is that a lot of guns, as you can see right here, there is absolutely no slide release, slide lock on that side. And so for us, there's no choice. We have to use the overtop or do some wonky, weird thing here on the other side. It just doesn't work. And so for those of us that want to be able to pick up any gun and use it the way we want to use it, would be to just say, hey, use the over the top, because sometimes you're just out of luck. And so, man, that's, for me specifically, that's very compelling because I'm a lefty. And so, I want to be able to pick up any gun and know that it's going to work the same way every single time. Whereas other people don't have to worry about it. If you're a right-handed person, there's always going to be a slide release of some sort. However, not all slide releases are created equally. So in that same line of thinking, this one right here on the Koenig TP9SF Elite here, it's a big old beefy slide release. Whereas on the Hellcat here, it's tiny and it's probably too hard to use, or very hard to use anyway. Maybe not too hard, but the whole point is that if you want to be able to pick up any gun and use it the same way and know it's going to function the same way and not have to worry about, oh crap, it's not working right. Now, the odds of you needing to use that, very low, but still, that idea, right? You want to just be able to, man, it's always going to work the same way if you just slingshot it over the top. And so that's it. Those are the 5 reasons. You may agree with them, you may not. It's really obviously up to your opinion and what you find valid or what you find to be something that worries you or not. We'd love to hear what you think down in the comments below. As we said, we don't really care. Whatever you can get proficient in and get very good at, do that and train that way. I personally always use the over-the-top method, but that's just simply because of some of the reasons that I've mentioned. It just makes more sense that way. You may be different. You may think that, hey, using the slide stop as a slide release is the best way to do it. And I say, I'm all for it. You do that, because it's all about what you can get proficient with and get fast with. Other than that, guys, I hope that we have earned your subscription today. If so, please subscribe, please like, comment, as I mentioned, comment down in the comments below. Just generally engage with YouTube channels, gun channels on YouTube. YouTube's been making steps against us, as we all know. And so just go and engage with gun channels. Watch their videos all the way through. It's one of the biggest ways to do it. Show YouTube that this is good content. We want to consume it. We want it to be part of YouTube's platform. And so show them that. Thank you. We'll see you next time.